Good morning, Year 6 mathematicians. So today we are rounding. So task 1 is to round to the nearest 10. So here's 28. Are you going to round 28 to 30 or are you going to round it down to 20? As you can see, 28 is closest to 30. So you round 28 up to 30. If this 28 was here in the middle at 25, you would still round up to 30. If it is 24 and below, you round down. So let's have a look at the next one. So this number here, the dot, is at 32. Are you going to round up to 40 or are you going to round down to 30? As you can see, 32, you would need to round down to 30 because it is 34 or less. Remember, if it's 35 or more, you round up to 40. So 32 rounded to the nearest 10 is 30. So task 2 is a little bit trickier. So task 2, you have got the number 39,476. Now you've got to round this number to the nearest 10,000. So which digit is in the 10,000s column? So you've got your ones here, then your tens, then your hundreds, then your thousands, then your tens of thousands. So the digit 3 is in the tens of thousands column, and the value of that 3 is 30,000. So are you going to round down to 30,000 or are you going to round up to 40,000? So to do that, we need to look at the next digit. So the next digit is 9. Now, because 9 is 5 or more, you need to round this number up to 40,000. So there's your answer. Okay, next, you have got to round the same number to the nearest 1,000. So which digit is in the thousands column? So the 9 is in the thousands column. So remember, you need to look at the next digit. So are you going to round up to 40,000 or are you going to round down to 39,000? So looking at the next digit is a 4. So remember, if it's 4 or less, you round down. So there's your answer. The next one is using the same number, rounding to the nearest 100. So which digit is in the hundreds column, which is the 4? So are you going to round down to 39,400 or are you going to round up to 39,500? So remember, look at the next digit, which is a 7. Now a 7 is, remember, if it's 5 or more, it rounds up. So there you go, the 7 is 5 or more, so you round up to 39,500. I think you'll be able to do question 2 okay. Task 3 is more reasoning questions. So I'm thinking of an integer that is 370 when rounded to the nearest 10. So the word integer means whole number. So I've got the number 370 and I've already rounded the number up to 370 to the nearest 10. So think about what would be the numbers before 370 if you round up to 370, and what are the numbers after 370 that you would need to round down? So I know that if it's 369, I would round up. If it's 368, I would need to round up. If it's 367, I would need to round up. If it's 366, I would need to round up. And if it's 365, I would need to round up. If it's 364, I'd need to round down. So what numbers are after 370 that you would need to round down? So I know that 371, I would need to round down. 372, I would need to round down. 373, I would need to round down. And 374, I would need to round down. If it's 375, I would need to round up to the next 10. So the question is, it cannot be less than what? So it cannot be less than this number. It cannot be more than that number. It must be between this number and that number. So it might be any of those numbers. Excellent, well done. I think that's all I'm going to go through with you. Good luck with the rest of the questions. Make sure you ask if you've got any questions. Well done, mathematicians.